This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Back in the day, not that long ago, nutrition was really to prevent diseases. It wasn't regarded so much as a means of promoting health, and now it is.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in the U.S., but what kind of impact do dietary supplements actually have on your health? They're increasingly popular among Americans, but is there scientific evidence to back up their claims? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Conan. Welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on the debate over dietary supplements coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. There are not too many things that Republicans and Democrats do together these days in Congress. Baseball is one of them. Every year, congressional Republicans and Democrats play each other in a game to raise money for charity. They take it seriously, and they practice. And it was at a practice this morning, shots rang out. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise and others were hit. He remains in critical condition. ABC's Lana Zach is following the latest from the scene.
Baseball equipment left on the field, scattered remnants of a summer morning interrupted by gunfire. The assailant shooting at least 5 victims, including the Republican whip, Congressman Steve Scalise, who is now in critical condition.
Steve and others, you are deeply in our prayers. We count the minutes until you return.
Partisanship was cast aside in a shared disbelief. Democrats seen here praying for their Republican colleagues.
We are united in our shock. We are united in our anguish. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Senator Bernie Sanders reacting to reports that the shooter may have volunteered on his campaign.
I am sickened by this despicable act.
Investigators are still trying to determine the motive of the shooter, believed to be 66-year-old James T. Hodgkinson of Belleville, Illinois. Just before the shooting began, one congressman was approached by a stranger.
I did have an interaction with someone in the parking lot who asked me if the team practicing was a Democrat or Republican team. I told him they were Republicans. He said, "Okay, thanks."
Moments later, gunshots pierced the air. The shooter at third base, Congressman Scalise, hit on second.
He dragged himself after he was shot from near second base about 10 or 15 yards into the field, just to be, I think, a little further away from the gunman, but he was laying motionless out there.
Capitol Hill police on the scene returning fire.
Our brave Capitol Police perform a challenging job with incredible skill, and their sacrifice makes democracy possible.
And that shooter is believed to be deceased. We do continue to monitor the health of all 5 of the victims. And in a show of solidarity, that congressional baseball game that was scheduled for tomorrow will continue to go on as planned, with one significant difference. Republicans and Democrats will all be wearing the same jerseys, LSU, in honor of Congressman Scalise. Reporting from Delray, Virginia, Lana Zach, ABC News.
Local Congressman Vern Buchanan and Tom Rooney are both in Washington, D.C. right now. Both are safe. Buchanan was not there, but released a statement on his Facebook page saying, "My staff and I are safe, praying for Steve Scalise, congressional staff and Capitol Police officers involved." Congressman Tom Rooney was at the baseball practice this morning, but he left about 5 minutes before the shooting happened. Governor Rick Scott and the Florida cabinet held a moment of silence before their meeting today in Tallahassee in response to the shooting. Florida's agricultural commissioner, Adam Putnam, is a former member of Congress and says there was never a large security presence when he took part in the practices and game during his time in Congress.
As a guy that played on the baseball team for 10 years, it's scary to think, and it just reinforces that there's no such thing as normal, there's no such thing as ordinary in any law enforcement officer's shift.
Governor Scott also responding to the shooting, saying, quote, "Hopefully we can all say a prayer for everyone involved, that they are safe and will have a full recovery." Governor Scott also announcing today Florida's crime rate is at its lowest levels in nearly a half a century. There were 18,000 fewer crimes last year compared to 2015. That's a 4.5% drop, bringing state crime to its lowest rate in 46 years. Scott says the decrease is a reminder of the dedication and hard work Florida's law enforcement officers show every day. The Sarasota Police Department is launching an internal affairs investigation into a hit-and-run accident on Tamiami Trail. The police department responded to the email but did not launch a search for the vehicle for 16 days. Posting this video, a spokeswoman for the department told us the department launched an internal affairs investigation looking into the incident. Tonight, the driver who was hit is speaking out.
I just hope something happens, I'm not sure what, but with everything I've been dealing with and the lack, I guess, of help, I just want some kind of resolution and something out of it.
With no way to prove who was behind the wheel and no other leads, the case is now being shelved. The internal affairs investigation continues. Farmers on the Suncoast continue to battle citrus greening, which is destroying crops across the state, but now another setback. Governor Scott is vetoing $37 million from the state budget that would have reimbursed farmers for crops destroyed by greening. The owner of Mixon Farms in Bradenton is frustrated, saying funding almost always goes towards research instead of those working in the groves. He says despite their best efforts, most farmers are helpless.
There's really nothing you do once you have the greening. So you're feeding the tree a little bit more, and most of the time it affects the roots too.
Dean Mixon is working with a handful of local citrus growers, reaching out to Congressman Vern Buchanan for assistance. It looks like hard work is paying off for the community of Rabonia. 4 months after getting Mardi Gras back, the state and county are looking at $2.4 million worth of sidewalk and drainage improvements. Governor Scott approving $1.5 million in state funds. In addition, Manatee County will kick in $943,000 from its half-cent sales tax fund. Once county commissioners approve the drainage and sidewalk improvements, it goes on to Public Works and engineers to design the project. And Bob, the drainage is important because we are getting a lot of rain.
Had a flood advisory earlier across parts of North Manatee County. That has since expired. Light rain occurring right now, but it came down fast, up to 2 inches in just an hour there near Parrish. And now all that rain, at least the heavy weather, has moved out of the area. Currently, this is a Casey Key webcam looking at a nice day today. Lots of sunshine out there throughout the morning. And then the afternoon, late afternoon, a line of showers moving through. Not much there at Casey Key, but some big storms to the north of that as a result of just the daytime heating, southeasterly flow, and a little sea breeze that kicked in. Had a water spout. We'll show you the pictures of that in a little bit, but that was reported near Longboat Key earlier. You see that rain and light now from Parrish down to Mayaca City and inland areas. Not much near the beaches today. The chance for rain tomorrow still fairly high for those afternoon and evening showers and storms. As I mentioned, not much lightning either going on with these cells. Currently at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, some clouds around, 75 degrees. It's cooled down. That's a nice part of these storms. Does cool things down. East winds are at 7 and the pressure at 30.04 inches, still high and holding steady. Well, temperatures statewide have really cooled down as a result of the clouds that came in with the showers and storms around. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s up and down the coast right now from Arcadia to Mayaca City, Northport, all into the low 70s there. A little bit warmer near the coast. Venice at 79, 79 in Minnesota Beach, 78 in Inglewood. Well, we are watching this area of disturbed weather now stretching across the Yucatan Peninsula. More and more, the models are indicating that if something were to develop, it would stay well west of the state of Florida. So we'll watch it. We'll have an update on the tropics. Let you know also that the Joshua Tree, the redo up in Tampa, not a problem. Some light rain there now, but we're not anticipating anything too heavy.
We have a lot of friends who are going there tonight.
Right.
I hope they have a good time.
I do too.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, they claim to give you more energy, help you lose weight, or just stay healthier, but do dietary supplements really work? We'll hear from both sides on this debate when we return.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am goodwill, yeah.
I dream of the creature by night and by day. Wielding my weapon, I slaughter my prey. 2,000 cash, I'll be rolling in dough. So hey, you big monster, come out from below. So hey, you big monster, come out from below.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
For many, supplements are an important part of their diet, a natural way of treating everything from insomnia to coughs, colds, joint pain, and a lot of other things without medication. But not all supplements are made alike, and some worry there are supplements that aren't safe at all. ABC's Ray Collins has more.
There is a lot of evidence to the importance of B12.
Grace Lee of Sarasota is a big believer in the value of diet supplements, and she knows the topic. She's a registered dietitian and nutritionist and has written a book called Winning Tennis Nutrition with a chapter dedicated to diet supplements. Not only does she have a row of pills and powders, there's hardly a day that goes by where she's not in the kitchen making a healthy smoothie. And she's not alone. Studies show more than half of all adults are now taking some sort of dietary supplements. So what does she think caused a higher interest in this multi-billion-dollar industry?
I strongly believe it's the news about nutrition. Back in the day, not that long ago, nutrition was really to prevent diseases. It wasn't regarded so much as a means of promoting health, and now it is. As you can see, these foods, as well as other foods that have certain nutrients and supplementation in them, are being focused on because so many consumers not only want their nutrition to prevent disease, but promote health.
And she's not surprised to hear the Pentagon is also tapping into this dietary supplement craze. The Defense Department is promoting Operation Supplement Safety, or OPS. Not just advice on what to take, but also what to watch out for. Grace says it makes sense.
And when you think about it, military folks are ones that really rely on their physical and mental performance for success in the military.
If they're in a third world country, on missions and don't have access to nutritious foods, then maybe a multiple vitamin supplement may be beneficial.
Sarasota Dr. Chris Gelvin is well aware of the increasing interest in diet supplements, but make no mistake, he's not a fan.
Well, I think a lot of people are looking for some kind of magic pill to fix different problems and make them feel better. People want pills for energy and for weight loss, and really there's no study showing that any of these supplements are beneficial. Certainly the key to a healthy lifestyle is a good, well-balanced diet and plenty of exercise.
On top of that, wouldn't a dietary supplement aid?
No, actually that's not true. And again, there's no well-designed, respected studies that show that any of these supplements do any of the things that they claim. Certainly there's some true vitamin deficiencies that need to be, corrected. Vitamin B12 deficiency is common. The elderly need vitamin D in general. There's a recent study showing that vitamin D helps prevent falls in the elderly.
So the FDA is not on board?
No, they're not.
Grace Lee admits in a perfect world, diet supplements would not be needed.
I think the caveat is as long as you have a healthy diet, you're not smoking, you're exercising routinely, you're not drinking alcohol excessively, and a long list of healthy lifestyle habits. If you can honestly check off and say, I'm doing all this, the supplements are probably not needed. However, not all of us do that. Actually, a fraction of us do that.
And for the rest of us, if you do choose to take a dietary supplement, be sure to check with your doctor first, because they can interact with your prescription medication, and not always in a positive way. In Sarasota, Ray Collins, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up, an outstanding panel to talk about the benefits and possible dangers to using over-the-counter supplements when we take it to the trapezoid.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
What's a nice Jewish girl to do when she can't introduce her WASP boyfriend to her conservative parents? Hire an actor. Hilarious and insightful, Bo Jest is at the Players Center June 14th through the 25th, and it's your ticket to a sizzling summer. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit theplayers.org. Don't miss Bo Jest.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back. A lot of us swear by them. Supplements, all natural alternatives to high-priced prescription drugs. And one would figure if you buy them at the corner pharmacy or supermarket, they've got to be safe. But hold on. Supplements don't undergo the same rigorous standards as medication approved by the FDA. And now the U.S. military is funding research to see if members of the armed forces are carefully reading warning labels on supplements, packages, and purchasing them from reputable manufacturers. And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Jerry Zivick, a government benefits consultant and consumer watchdog, Jackie Eubanks, a registered nurse with the Professional Supplement Center, and joining us by Skype is Dr. Kathy Denal, a preventative medicine physician. And doctor, let me start with you, because when we were talking earlier today, you were talking about the challenge of whether people are purchasing supplements at their neighborhood pharmacy or supermarket. That is not an automatic guarantee, you say, that they are actually of good quality.
That's absolutely true. Basic supplements are available almost anywhere that sells retail food. grocery stores, pharmacies, big box wholesalers sometimes. But the quality isn't always there. There are so many companies that are entering this very high profit industry that we are simply not getting high quality supplements. It's really important to get a quality supplement from a quality company, take as directed, and make sure that it is stored properly and used properly and monitored.
And Jackie, that's where you come in.
I really believe, just as the physician does, is that we need to be our own advocates, and we need to do the research on the products that we're putting in our body. We need to look at companies that have been in business for a long period of time, not just coming onto the market, but have been there and doing research for 20, 30, 40 years.
But that's not always the environment that we live in these days. We're a fast-paced environment. We go out to the grocery store, we buy this and that, and we go into the corner pharmacy, and I don't want to mention the big chains.
That's really looking at the inexpensive or saving the dollar, but not always is that the best choice for the patient.
And I want to get in a little bit later when we have more time in terms of what the consequences of that is. But Jerry, let me start with you in terms of what is this military research all about?
Well, there's the old expression, you are what you eat. So you have all of these servicemen that are trying to build up their bodies, be healthy, be strong, and they were taking low-quality supplements or questionable supplements, so they created a website. It's called opss.org, and you can check and verify if the supplement you're taking is healthy. And this is just not limited to the military. Any citizen can go to that same website, and there's a tremendous amount of really useful information on that website.
Because the problem is, correct me if I'm wrong, some people were ordering these supplements online, so you're not even going into a store and knowing exactly what you're buying.
There are some facilities or some companies that do allow you to talk to a healthcare provider before you make the purchase and who do education about the product. We work with professional grade products, and so if you were to call in and you were going to buy something over the internet, you could also talk to me prior to purchasing that. I would probably talk to you about what medications you're taking.
Right. Okay, hold on just 1 second. Jerry, I know you wanted to jump in there. We are just getting started with our discussion of dietary supplements, and we'll continue right after we check the weather.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
The official salon of ABC7.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
For the last 18 years, Samantha's Friends has been assisting people along the Sun Coast who have been challenged by catastrophic illnesses or affected by autism obtain a service canine. We need your help. Please show your support by attending our annual Celebrity Gala brunch and fundraiser. Call Sammy Lee at 941-448-8558 for more information.
Our discussion of dietary supplements continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Another wild day today weather-wise across the Sun Coast. This is a composite of the lightning strikes that were occurring right around 3:30, 3:40. Again, from under the bridge, the Lightning Mafia, part of them, they call themselves. Damon Power is getting this composite of several lightning strikes moving through. And then this of a water spout looking from Bird Key Park northeastward toward Longboat Key. You can see that water spout out there in the Gulf of Mexico. Didn't do any damage. It occurred right around 4:30 to almost 5 o'clock. It was moving through the Gulf. Now, Casey Key did not get the rain that they saw up into parts of Manatee County. In fact, coastal locations didn't see much at all. The composite showing the showers and storms developing and moving off toward the north right there. But generally fair conditions currently up and down the coast, with the rain lessening up somewhat the intense storms that were around, which prompted the National Weather Service to issue a severe thunderstorm warning earlier. They are now well to the north and east, pushing off toward Jacksonville. Just some light rainfall lingering now. That is just about over, and that'll be it, I think, for much of the area. There's a 20% chance for some redevelopment later on this evening out in the Gulf of Mexico, but for the most part, we'll see showers and thunderstorms return tomorrow afternoon and evening. So we're getting in the summer pattern, and the timing and distribution of the showers and storms remains to be a little bit more random in the afternoon and evening. Today it was more inland east of I-75. Tomorrow we could have a little bit better chance to see some coastal showers and storms late in the day. Rainfall amounts were rather impressive. At one point there was a flood advisory for northern portions of Manatee County where 2.5 inches of rain fell in less than an hour. And with the ground so saturated, it doesn't take much for a little street flooding to occur. Well, this is a very impressive tropical wave out there in the Atlantic. Unusual to see this strong of a tropical wave so early in the hurricane season. And the Hurricane Center giving that a 20% chance of developing over the next 5 days as it traverses off across the Atlantic very rapidly by that matter. And also, we're watching this one. This one, if it were to develop, 20% chance, it would more likely move off toward Texas or Mexico at this point, staying away from Florida. But it's just a reminder that we are in hurricane season, and it's going to last up to November 30th, so make sure you have your plan ready to go. For boaters, southeast winds turn to the southwest at around 10 to 5 knots, so it'll actually lessen up in the afternoon. Water temperature now at 84 degrees, and as far as the extended forecast goes, here's a look. Showers and storms, for the most part, anywhere from 40 to 60% over the next 7 days. And we'll have some sunshine in the morning, mainly afternoon and evening storms throughout next week. Alan will be back with the guests right after this. Stick around.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Thanks to my volunteer, I am a better eater.
Thanks to my volunteer, math seems simple now.
Thanks to my volunteer, I discovered new career goals.
I'm a volunteer for Sarasota County Schools, so I know I can make a difference. And you can too. Give an hour, change a life.
All hands on deck.
What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing dietary supplements and what impact they have on your health. Our guests tonight are Jerry Civic, a government benefits consultant and consumer watchdog, Jackie Eubanks with the Professional Supplement Center, and joining us by Skype is Dr. Kathy Donnell, a preventative medicine physician. And we were talking before the break about the importance of knowing where these supplements are coming from and what are in them. And doctor, I believe you have a story of a salesperson coming to your office and trying to sell their product to you, and you discovered it is not what they claimed it was.
The story was actually a little different. It was a salesperson coming to the office, and at the same time that a patient was coming to buy a supplement from my office. And we were talking about counterfeit supplements and the importance of having a reputable company and reputable source. And she pulled out the bottle that she'd received from the internet, and the one that she was going to buy at my office to replace it. And the labels were visibly different. The rep from the company verified that it was a counterfeit.
And that is the underlying problem. But Jerry, let me ask you this, because we talked about this a little bit before our broadcast. The difference between supplements and prescribed medication that you buy at your pharmacy is that there are so many strict guidelines with the FDA that supplements don't go through. Isn't the quality control therefore the real question mark there?
Well, I think you actually have quality question marks with FDA-approved drugs and dietary supplements. The key is these are dietary supplements, and they're not regulated by the FDA. Back in 1994, a law was passed that allowed them not to be regulated by the FDA. However, and we've talked about it on the show, just recently there was a new ruling issued by the FTC because of problems with GNC products, and the manufacturers of supplements, they can't make a claim unless there's scientific evidence to back up what they're saying.
But that is a huge debate in terms of the FDA oversight, whether they should oversee supplements. And, you know, it's a huge industry, and therefore you could imagine the battles that take place in Washington. But Jackie, this brings us to the most important point. For all the people who are watching this right now, what are the red flags out there? What should you be looking for in terms of the labeling of these products and where you get them from?
Well, I think the clinician had a really good, when she was talking that there are counterfeits out there. There are people who are trying to make a dollar fast, and so they may put the same label, the same coloring, but it may not be the same substances that's in that product. It may be filler, it may be peanuts, it may be allergens, and we have to watch for those things. So we have to buy from a company that is attesting to what they say is in that bottle actually is that way.
Doctor, what is the consequences of taking a counterfeit product, which, as we were talking about with Jackie, may have fillers and a lot of things that you don't know exactly what they are?
One of the biggest consequences is that it simply doesn't work. Another is that there can be side effects. There can be anything from jitteriness to stomach upset. And it's very hard to tell whether the problem is from the supplement or from the underlying condition they were taking the supplement for. We've had patients call me and tell me that they got a supplement from the internet and there's a horrible smell. Is it supposed to smell that way? Probably not. It's probably deteriorated, expired, or something else. And so sometimes, as with prescription medications, there can be unpleasant side effects or serious side effects. And high-quality products are not going to have serious side effects.
And that really brings us again to these do's and don'ts, because I was looking up earlier today the subject, and I was on menshealth.com, and I saw the list of some of the 3 best supplements, and it was protein powder, creatine, and multivitamin. I have a son who is going to be a college athlete. That's what he's taking. But when it comes to creatine, Jackie, you were saying not all creatine
is created equal. And I think the physician will totally agree with me that what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are getting a product that that you know who the manufacturer is, you know what's in the product, that the person who, or the company that is producing that product has been in business for a long time and is trusted and has done research, and including placebo research, and has done testing, and so that you know that that is validated and that is working. And I often see where young athletes will come in and they will bring in a product that I say, you know, you're really working hard to build your body and to be healthy, but you're really putting some things that are not healthy for you. And
I'm sorry. One of the things I think the consumer can look for is there's 2 types of labeling. It's NSF and it's USP labeling. And these are companies or agencies that certify that the ingredients in that product are the ingredients that they say they are. So if you're buying a supplement, if you don't have somebody like Jackie to consult, you can turn around and at least look for those labelings.
It provides assurance and a protocol and quality that that product every time is going to be made that way, and that there are procedures and written procedures for that product.
Doctor, I'm hoping that you could respond to one thing. If you saw our reporter Ray's story earlier, where we have a local physician who says, you know, supplements are great, but there is no scientific evidence that they do what they say they're going to do.
I've seen studies that do show scientific evidence. We've seen studies that show macular degeneration can have its progression halted by certain supplements. Vitamin D can prevent tooth decay in children, as well as a number, falls, bone density problems. Glucosamine has been shown to really help arthritis in the knees. There actually are studies out there. Some of them are large group studies, population studies, and some of them are case-controlled, high scientific evidence studies.
Okay, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, the increasing use of roundabouts.
Dead boat batteries sinking your spirits? Right now, you can save $10 on Duracell Ultramarine batteries at Batteries Plus Bulbs.
We should have named it the SS Going Nowhere.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
How long have we been married, dear?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years. We decided on Meals on Wheels because I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Welcome back. Should you be taking a dietary supplement? Are you better off without them? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And Dr. Dinal, let me start with you. People are watching this tonight and they're walking away saying, geez, I've been taking this or that from our corner place. Is this a good idea? And you say what?
I say if it helps you, if you can see that it helps you, it's probably a good idea. But be sure you tell your doctor at your annual physical or your next visit that you are taking it. There can be interactions, and the doctor needs to know. He or she may have other suggestions.
Jackie, I was reading one article today about somebody who was taking a supplement in terms of building back strength, and they did in the short term. Then they had some really unanticipated side effects that led their doctor to eventually believe that their liver was impacted on this, and this underscores the care that you need to take in terms of where you're getting this stuff from.
I would just like to say in our community, I work with a lot of pain management physicians, and I'm an old pain management nurse of many years, and so I work with a lot of people who are in pain. So what you want to do is you want to look at the lab work. I do micronutrient testing. So I test people to actually see where their micronutrient deficiencies are. So I'm not going to say you need this supplement if you actually do not need that supplement. So it's going to be looked at with data to be able to identify what your needs would be.
And Jerry, your advice is not going to make a lot of our retailers out there happy.
Well, I want to leave the viewers with some things to consider before they buy a supplement. I think you should stay away from a big box store. I think you have to use some common sense, which is actually the FTC rule. If somebody's saying you can lose 100 pounds in 2 weeks, it's probably not true. You get what you pay for. If it's too cheap, you shouldn't do it. I don't think you should buy from eBay. I think if it's on Amazon, you should question who the seller is, click in to see who the actual seller is. And we haven't talked about the pyramid type sellers. If the product is so good, they don't need a pyramid scheme to sell the product. Those are things I would consider before I would buy a supplement.
Okay, we have to leave it there. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, the increasing use of roundabouts on the Suncoast. Boy, did we get a lot of feedback. Transportation experts say they reduce the number of accidents, and particularly fatal accidents at intersections. They also say roundabouts increase traffic flow. However, some Suncoast residents say people ignore yield signs and aren't educated on how to navigate them. Here is what some of you are saying. Sylvia Campfeld writes, safer for whom? Our out-of-town people and a huge chunk of elderly are scared of them. As a result, they hold up traffic as they are fearful to pull out. Terrible idea for our aging and visitor-friendly community. Cameron Tucker writes, I almost die every time I using the Jacaranda Circle because people cut me off constantly. Ernest Franch writes, if used properly, they are excellent. The issue is not many living here know how to use them properly. Well, there's a lot of people who live here don't know how to use them properly. Well, what do you think about dietary supplements? Do you swear by them? Maybe you want to take them off the shelves? Joining tonight's conversation by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, you can watch past roundtable discussions. We'll be back with our primetime headlines after we check the weather, so stay with us.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Save big during the summer leather clearance and pay no interest till June 2018 with same-day pickup or next-day delivery. This special purchase deep-seating leather match sofa now $599. It's like floating on a cloud with this leather match sofa at $699. Or put your feet up in style with comfort in this dual reclining leather match sofa only $799. Exclusively at the Furniture Warehouse in Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice, Port Charlotte, and Ellenton.
And save big.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan has the latest U2 songs.
That's right, singing along with them right now. Bono up there playing up Ray J, right? We're looking at a few showers up there right now, but things are starting to die down here in terms of rainfall. Heavier storms earlier produced up to 2.5 inches of rainfall in just a short period of time, causing some localized flooding problems in North Manatee County near Parrish, and that activity has since moved on right now, and things are looking a lot better than they were just about 3 hours ago here along the Suncoast. We had a water spot reported, lots of lightning with this cell as it made its way through Manatee County, and now just light rain in the offing across parts of Manatee County, Hillsborough, and places to the north. Currently, we have just a few clouds around, 75 degrees at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. Dew point is at 71, and winds are out of the east at 7, so things have cooled off considerably. This is nice, considering temperatures today, again, warmed into the upper 80s for the most part. Tomorrow, similar conditions, showers and storms mainly in the afternoon. They will be scattered about. Not everyone's going to get the rain, but there'll be a few around that will produce some locally heavy rainfall. Now, temperatures across the United States, it's hot out in the desert Southwest. 100 degrees in Phoenix, 88 in Albuquerque, 87 in Kansas City. Temperatures scorching all the way up into St. Louis right now. It's 93 degrees there, 85 in the nation's capital. Things cooling down a bit across the Great Lakes where there are some storms moving through in places like Chicago and northern Illinois, northern Indiana, and stretching now off toward Ohio. You can see that that storm system is rather intense, making its way through. St. Louis, too, could see some pretty big storms moving on through. For boaters tomorrow, winds will start off out of the southeast at around 10 knots and then switch around to the southwest in the afternoon at 5 knots. Seas running 2 feet or less. Really, bays and inland waters will be smooth, and similar conditions anticipated for Friday. The UV index, an 8. Again, it will be an 8 in the morning hours, and then changing around to about a 4 in the late afternoon as those clouds and showers move in. Beaches, you warm up into the mid-80s there, some upper 80s to low 90s east of the interstate. Tides have come in. Low tide will be just before midnight, a high tide at 6:18, and another low tide at 11:10 tomorrow morning. Sunset at 8:26. Sunrise will be at 6:35. So the forecast tonight, still a few showers around. We see that rain, though, winding down. We'll keep a 20% chance for some redevelopment overnight, but not much. We'll see some patchy fog forming, especially in the areas that rain today. 73 for a low temperature, which is typical. East winds at 5 to 10. And then the extended forecast, some clouds around in the afternoon and evening. Not much in the morning, though. We'll have a pretty nice day. Partly cloudy skies with a good chance for scattered late-day storms. A high of 89. The extended forecast is calling for temperatures to stay near 90 with a good chance each and every afternoon and evening for a few scattered thunderstorms. Al will be back with prime time headlines right after this.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Download ABC7's official Suncoast weather app onto all your devices so you can stay informed wherever you go. With our full-featured weather app, you get weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. The ABC7 official Suncoast weather app, sponsored by 1 Hour Air. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download yours today.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Now for your primetime headlines. London endures another tragedy less than 2 weeks after a deadly terror attack. Early this morning, a fatal fire ripped through a high-rise apartment as most people slept. ABC's Molly Hunter is at the scene with the latest.
All 24 stories ravaged. The structure, home to some 600 people, scorched by the raging inferno that burned for more than 15 hours. Residents say the fire broke out just before 1 a.m. and engulfed the entire tower within 30 minutes.
Yeah, there was smoke everywhere, literally everywhere. There was people downstairs, people screaming.
Fast-moving flames and thick smoke trapped people inside.
What floor are you on? 7, yeah?
Firefighters arriving on the scene within 6 minutes, but were blocked by the heat and falling debris.
In my 29 years in the London Fire Brigade, I have never seen a fire of this nature.
Residents doing anything to stay alive.
People jumping out literally and putting sheets down to try and get out of the building. Windows exploding, big massive pieces of debris falling to the floor.
Yeah, people have jumped off because they had no other option to.
How high up?
The top floor.
This man and his family made it out safely.
The smoke everywhere, people screaming, the other neighbours were coming out. There was a fireman there going, get out, get out.
Many rushed to the scene looking for missing friends and relatives.
I'm looking for my brother.
It was total chaos. This woman's sister and nephew are still unaccounted for. At this point, police say they don't know what started that fire.
It's going to take a period of time before we truly understand what has occurred, what has occurred, and the investigation will be complex and, as you would expect, very, very thorough.
Now, this is the material, that external cladding that investigators will be looking at whether or not it contributed to the speed of that blaze. But tonight, surviving residents just want answers. In London, Molly Hunter, ABC News.
Here in the U.S., the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates 0.25%. It's the Fed's third rate hike since December, and it's a sign that the central bank believes the U.S. economy is on solid ground. Rising interest rates eventually affect millions of Americans, from home buyers to credit card holders to savers. However, interest rates for mortgages are not expected to rise immediately. Now to San Francisco, where a UPS worker shot and killed 3 people before turning the gun on himself. A spokesperson for the company says an employee opened fire on his colleagues before drivers headed out on their routes. The suspect was confronted by police before taking his own life. The building is secure, but no details about the victims have been made available. Here in Florida, Governor Rick Scott is cracking down on the opioid epidemic, signing a bill creating mandatory sentences for those who traffic fentanyl. The synthetic opioid is 100 times more potent than morphine. Under the measure, anyone caught with at least 4 grams would be sentenced to a minimum of 3 years in prison. The punishment is even more severe depending upon the amount of fentanyl someone has. Attorney generals say the tough sentences aren't enough. There needs to be more help for addicts.
These addicts are victims, and you can give them Narcan, naloxone. You can put them in a facility for 24 hours or 36 hours, but you need long-term treatment to get off this stuff, and that's what the drug dealers are banking on. The people won't get that, and they're going to keep buying their poison. So we have to do more for rehabilitation.
Fentanyl has been linked with the surge of overdose deaths in Florida. Governor Scott is approving pay raises for state employees. Today he is signing a bill that includes $183 million for pay hikes. Employees earning $40,000 or less will get a $1,400 raise. Those earning more than $40,000 will get a $1,000 raise. Law enforcement officers will get 5% raises, and a 10% raise will be given to judges, state attorneys, and public defenders. Under the bill, new hires will be put into a 401k plans instead of traditional pensions. A United Airlines flight was forced to make an emergency landing in Tallahassee last night. The plane was headed from Miami to Chicago. Passengers say they were concerned about a smoky odor coming from the cockpit. Pilots diverted the plane and landed at Tallahassee International Airport.
Basically, he said that it was a routine procedure and that they didn't have any reason for concern, but that there was enough complaints to where they felt that they needed to contact ground control, and basically said that they were going to go ahead and land in Tallahassee as an emergency landing.
No injuries were reported. Another aircraft was called to transport the 155 passengers and crew. The wife of Pulse nightclub shooter is asking a judge to dismiss one of the charges against her. Noor Salman argues that the obstruction charge against her was filed in the wrong venue. Salman made the request on Monday, the 1-year anniversary of the nightclub shooting, which left 49 people dead. Salman was charged with aiding her husband and obstruction for allegedly misleading investigators. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.